Hi Aries, welcome back to my channel, Karma Fox. I am doing your monthly reading for November. I hope you're doing well. I am going to take a second to remind you that this is a general reading. It may not resonate with every Aries out there, so guys, just take what resonates for you. Leave the rest for someone else. We're going to start with your current energy, and then we're going to look all the way through the month of November. We're going to go week by week up to the end of November. So, as always, Aries, don't force yourself into a reading that's not for you. Spirit, can I have the energy of the sign of Aries? What would you like Aries to know? All right, so Aries, you are starting out with the Page of Swords in the reverse, and you have the Strength card. So it looks like there's somebody here you may not be talking to. I feel like you have a lack of knowledge with regard to what's going on with this person, which would make sense if you're not in communication. I see you working on yourself. I see that, some of you are trying to find the courage to reach out to someone, or just hoping that someone will reach out to you. Let me see. In your past, yeah, you were unable to move away from something here. Six of Swords in the reverse. Whatever it was very chaotic. And I feel like you had a difficult time trying to move forward. Underlying energy, you have the Page of Wands in the reverse. Again, telling me that there is somebody here that you're not speaking with. This also indicates, though, that you might be dealing with somebody, and this doesn't necessarily have to be within love. This could be at work, or this could be within the family. Within the family, it looks like it would most likely be somebody younger than you. But it does indicate here that you may feel that this person is a little bit kind of bratty. When things don't go their way, they might throw tantrums, or have withdraw their communication in order to try to affect your behavior. Let me see what's on your mind. Seven of Wands, you're not backing down. You know that there's conflict here, but you're standing your ground. Let me see what's coming for you in November. Show me what's coming for Aries in November. You might be feeling a little defensive with regard to someone here. The King of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, so that indicates that you're experiencing some loss here. It could indicate difficulties with your finances or your stability, so be careful with that as well. Let's see how you're showing up. Now, we're going to look into each week of November. It could be that November is starting out that way. Doesn't mean it's going to end that way. You could also be dealing with a Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn. Show me how Aries is showing up. Knight of Cups in the reverse. You have feelings here, but you've really pulled them back. You're not exposing your feelings. You're kind of, how am I want to word this? You're kind of holding back. You're not emotionally open to someone or a situation. Show me the energy coming towards Aries. Yeah, I almost get the feeling here from you, Aries, that you're kind of a little shut down. You're kind of withdrawn. So the energy coming towards you is somebody who is not completely happy. They're closing out a cycle. It's almost closed out, but they're feeling emotionally drained. They're feeling very discontent. It could be somebody that's connected somehow to this King of Pentacles reverse. Hold on a second. Your card flew. In Spirit's advice, Spirit is saying that you need to avoid conflict if possible, and make sure that if you are in conflict, that you are not within your ego, because that's not going to be helpful. Yeah, and avoid anyone who is coming out of their ego, because this person won't fight fair. So let me see your outcome. Show me the outcome at the end of the month for Aries. Show me the outcome at the end of November for Aries. All right, Three of Swords in the reverse. So that's healing. It looks like you've gone through a painful, or are going through a painful situation. There's loss involved with this. There's non-communication. There's been a lot of chaos. But it looks like by the end of November, you're going to be healing from this. Now, the bottom of the deck is the King of Cups. You could be dealing with somebody who's a Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer, but the King of Cups is a very loving, very kind person. I'm not seeing that on the board because you're kind of pulled back emotionally. So I don't know if that's someone new coming in. Or it could just indicate that you have deep feelings for someone here. So let's clarify and see if we can get those answers. Spirit, why is the Page of Swords in reverse for Aries? Yeah, you are avoiding conflict. 5 of Wands in the reverse. So you're not talking to somebody here because you are trying to avoid conflict. If there has been conflict, you do want to resolve it. The World, yeah, you want to put an end to this cycle. You don't want any of this to be happening. You don't want whatever this is that's going on. You want to put an end to it so a new cycle can start. So you guys are either avoiding conflict by not talking to somebody, or you've already had the conflict and you want to resolve it. In the past, 6 of Swords reversed is clarified by the 4 of Wands reversed. So this could be a divorce. This could be a divorce situation or a long-term connection, but there's an ending that I see here, and it affected your stability, Aries. And I feel like it created a lot of chaos in your life, a lack of stability. And at the end of the day, I feel like you're just avoiding someone. Why is the Page of Wands in reverse? But for some reason, you had a hard time moving away from this chaos. Yeah, you're getting your balance back. That's good. Your finances, you might be having to kind of really balance out your finances. There's some robbing of Peter to pay Paul for somebody out there. I feel like you don't tell anybody about this. You don't discuss it. But it was caused by all of this chaos that's occurred with this person. You are getting your balance, though. And it's like you're taking one of the first steps towards your ships coming in, which is to get your own balance. Let's see why the 7 of Wands is here. Okay, so 8 of Wands. Some of you are thinking about moving. Some of you may be considering communication, but you're thinking about a sudden change here. There's a sense here that if you create this sudden change, though, there's not any going back. You know, that you're going to have to stand your ground with regard to whatever this is. So for some of you, it's communication. For others of you, it has something to do with travel or moving. Let's look at November for you. Show me November for Aries, please. Show me November for Aries. Show me November for Aries. All right. So we have the 9 of Cups reversed. We have the Hierophant. We have the 10 of Wands reversed. 3 of Coins reversed. Knight of Pentacles reversed. The Chariot. You had a lot of energy come out. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of changes or a lot of things happening in November. 5 of Cups reversed, Ace of Wands reversed, King of Cups reversed, King of Pentacles reversed, King of Swords. You got 3 of the 4 kings out here. Knight of Wands reversed, 7 of Wands reversed, 7 of Swords reversed. A lot of reversals, and the Magician reversed. So let's talk about all this energy, Aries. All right, so it looks like you're going into the month of November. Now, you could be dealing with somebody that was not faithful in the connection, but it looks like there's an ending. There's a loss here. In the first week, I can see you processing that loss. I can see you, it's not a loss that you wanted. This is not how you wanted things to go. However, it does appear that you have been dealing with somebody, possibly an earth sign, very strong Taurus energy, but this person could have been very selfish. They could have been only thinking about their needs and their wants. This is somebody you were in a connection with, and I do feel like a lot of you may have like talked to a close friend or talked to a therapist, or there's a sense of you getting advice, and somebody's advising you to, you know, to put an end to all the problems here, to resolve this, that you're kind of stuck in this feeling overwhelmed, feeling, you know, a sense of dissatisfaction. And it's all related to this foundation here that ended. Somebody is telling you, look, it's time to move on. This person broke their contract with you, whether it was a marriage contract or a social contract or a soul contract, I don't know. But it looks like you have somebody advising you, look, it's time to move on. You know, this person has broken their contract with you. You know, you've dodged a bullet is what I'm seeing. And I do feel like you have been feeling pretty stuck in these feelings of being overwhelmed. I see you coming out of that, though. I see you solving problems, but it's going to be through the assistance or the help of somebody that's giving you advice, somebody you respect in the first week. Now, in the second week of November, I actually see you moving forward, moving out of this stuck energy, taking the advice that was given and moving forward, opening yourself back up to love. There's been a lot of sadness. There's been a lot of, for some of you, even some depression. But I feel like you're looking at everything that happened. You've tried to learn from it. And now you're like, okay, so now I want to open myself up. I know that love still exists, and I know I deserve love. So I do see you taking that first step. And that's what I was seeing here with you getting your balance. You're absolutely not accepting anybody who is coming in with just passion and no love. You're not accepting anybody who is coming in with, you know, just the passion and no commitment. So you have a very good idea here by the middle of the month what it is that you are looking for. Now, some of you could be moving, physically moving, or traveling somewhere around the middle of the month, the second week or the middle of the month. But definitely on more of an emotional level, it's like you took this advice to heart that you received in that first week. And I see you kind of saying, okay, well, what is it that I do want in love? What is going to make me happy? So in the third week, or in the middle of the month to the third week, I see you really defining that. You're not open to anybody that's just coming in with their wand in hand, with no love and no commitment. Now, that being said, I do feel like you have options here, especially in the third week. So I don't know if some of you might be like going out and dating now that you finally, you know, accepted the ending of this situation. Because I definitely see somebody who is, I see a lot of people, unfortunately, that are just coming in with the passion, but one is not. I see possibly a water sign. This person is not vibing in their highest, and I feel like this is somebody who doesn't want to be tied down, and they're kind of emotionally closed off for whatever reason. I also see somebody that is approaching you that could be a little bit of a player. They're not trying to be in a relationship. And I see somebody closer to the fourth week who definitely is a player, and they'll leave just as quickly as they come in. These other three individuals I see you talking to a little bit, getting to know them a little bit. One of them, I have to say, is coming in a very honest and very direct manner. This is somebody who I feel like you may let your defenses down, because this person, although they are not coming in with a lot of, you know, emotion, they may be like the strong silent type. They are coming in a very direct manner. So I feel like whoever this is going out to is somebody who does have definitely options here. In the third week of November, I also see you kind of confronting yourself, asking yourself, are you open to relationship? Are you open to commitment? You know, I feel like you're kind of getting in touch with yourself, being very honest with yourself here as well. In the fourth week, I do feel like you're going to get some information about why a certain situation did not manifest. You're going to find out that somebody that you were dealing with was, and it could have been an on and off situation. This would be somebody you're not speaking to currently that you have been very defensive with. I feel like you're going to find out something about that person, and you're going to understand exactly why this did not manifest. Whoever this was, it looks like it's the person from the past that you had the ending with. I feel like this person was highly manipulative, and they were quite a player. And I feel like you're either getting really honest with yourself about that, but it looks like there's some information that is going to come out about that. So let's look at your energy, Aries, in this reading. Show me Aries energy, please. Clarify this Knight of Cups reversed. All right. So we have the High Priestess reversed. We have, again, the Six of Swords reversed. That was in your past. Again, we have the Knight of Cups reversed, and we have the Lovers. So, yeah, I do see you really learning a lot about yourself here, because what I'm seeing is that the experience that you had with this person from the past caused you to kind of close down your feelings and emotions, become a little bit emotionally withdrawn. And I do feel like it also created a situation where you weren't quite trusting your own intuition. You had a difficult time moving away from this connection. You may have felt that you were being rejected by this person. It could have triggered some sort of a trauma bond. But I do see that in the month of November, you have all these options, but you're not accepting most of them. Towards the end of the month, there is a big decision that you're going to make. You definitely have choices here, but I find that most of them are not pleasing to you. They're not what you want with regard to love. But you may be meeting a soulmate towards the end of the month, and if not, it looks like you are going to be having a choice with regard to love and emotions. Now, let me see the energies coming towards Aries. All right. So we have, again, the Ten of Cups in reverse. We have the Seven of Cups reversed. And we have the Six of Wands reversed. So this definitely looks like somebody who you have gone through a situation where it wasn't a successful relationship. This person is terribly unhappy. They literally have the Ten of Cups clarifying the Ten of Cups both in reverse. So I feel like this person is a very unhappy person. They feel like they're not successful in life. This is somebody who may appear like they know everything, but they don't. This is somebody who had options, and I feel like, you know, whatever option they chose it didn't pan out for them. Now they're sitting there in a lot of unhappiness, feeling like they have no other choice but to approach you again. Well, I don't think you know Aries, person, because, you know, most Aries that I know, you guys are like, you know, very stable, very salt of the earth. But when it's done, it is done. And it looks like the Aries that I'm talking to now, it's your choice, Aries. You know, never let somebody else take away your power. But you're going to have all these options. And by the way, this person is hoping that none of those options pan out for you, because it looks like they're wanting you back. Let's see. Let me look at Spirit's advice. Show me Spirit's advice for Aries in November. King of Wands, the Sun, and the Ten of Swords. So Spirit is saying, you know, especially with somebody that you've gone through this painful ending with, you don't want to engage in conflict with this person. Make sure that you step into your power. Make sure that you get all the facts, have all the information, and stay out of your ego. There's an acknowledgement that you've gone through a very painful ending, but there's also this encouragement, if I will, to take your power back here, to move towards your happiness, that you're the only one who can do that. So let me see Let me see the outcome, because I do see healing happening here for you. Something here really hurt you. It really broke your heart. You had a hard time moving on from it, but I feel like you're going to get some really wise words of wisdom here. And there's something here that is causing you within that first week of November to break free of this and claim your power back. All right, so we have the 10 of Coins reversed. We have the Star card. And we have the Ace of Cups reversed. So yeah, you're healing here. This, whatever this was, I feel like it was a long-term situation and it was a definite loss for you. But we see hope by the end of the month. Hope is returning after this ending in a love affair, after feeling as if you've lost everything that you really wanted. And I feel like hope comes back in as the balance comes back in. So I feel like you're just getting right back up on your feet. Some of you may have love coming in at the end of the month because we have the Lovers here and we also have this King of Cups. But regardless, you do have a lot more hope and a lot more balance. And there's a lot of healing that's taking place. So you're in a transitional time, and I feel like you're doing really well, Aries. Just know that you're going to have all these options, So it's really going to be your choice. And look at this, bottom of the deck, we have the Five of Swords in the reverse. And so this is indicating to me that you are taking Spirit's advice. You're staying out of the ego. You're taking your power back, and you're avoiding conflicts. So let's pull you an Oracle card, Aries. Let's see. Any further advice for Aries? All right. It says number 7, and it's talking about past lives. So you may have some sort of a past life connection with some or, you know, some of these individuals in your reading. Let me read this for you, though. It says, you long some days for gentility, propriety, older times when distance and conventions governed behavior. Within those laws and boundaries, you found freedom and expression, even while there was restriction and oppression. There is a sense of how things once were, nostalgia and yearning for times long past when this card comes to visit you. This Victorian kitsune is here to remind you of your own past lives. For she journeys through the realms of the human ones, finding the people who have forgotten their wisdom. And she reminds them of who they once were, so they can remember and bring to this life the wisdom of who they once were. She will make sense of the manners and the preferences you have, the desire for manners that were more genteel and refined, for roles that were more certain and sure, and for codes that, although restrictive and binding, give us surety and a sense of place. The past is not the present, and you're not being reminded of your past in order to negate or escape where you are in this time or in this lifetime. But who we are is all we have been, and in memory there lies many a mystery which can enrich our lives. So know now that your fascination with aspects of the past have meaning, and that you are being visited by the Victorian fox to remember a little more of who you once were in order to become more surely who you are destined to be. This would be a wonderful time to incorporate a little old world magic into your life. Take a step back, slow down, and revisit, savoring every moment. All right. I hope this has been helpful for you, Aries. If you've resonated with this reading, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hype the video if you have the opportunity. And until I see you guys in your next reading, Aries, know that you are loved, and namaste.